All right. I never wanted to talk about looks maxing, but it would be irresponsible to avoid it at this point. I have to watch this interview. Channel 5 News, if you have ever seen their videos, is really good. Andrew Callaghan is a really good interviewer. So we're going to watch him interview Clavicular today. I thought I would never make a video on this guy, but here we are.
Incel has been largely misused, so let's clarify what that actually is.
So you think that even if someone had every word of the Neil Strauss book, The Game, memorized, and they were like super busted, they could approach a Stacy and get totally
led hard, like brutalized almost. Like women are brutal as fuck these days. I was talking about this on my stream the other day. Say you were to do like a bowling date with a girl and you weren't streaming it, like that's just the most ridiculous.
What about like connecting with her because like you like her or something like that, you know? Like
I can't tell if he actually thinks what he talks about. What he talks about is so absurd. Worrying about how you look to the degree of like getting surgery on different parts, and obviously plastic surgery is a thing, but he talks about it in an almost scientific way, as if all these things are scientific across the board. Everybody finds the same thing attractive and everybody wants to have a specific look for their partner, which is just untrue. And if you're a person, like a normal person, you obviously see that, you know, you don't need your partner to look a specific way. You don't feel the need to change how you look to look a specific way if you feel comfortable in your own skin. As you get older, how you look naturally changes.
this is Braden Peters, known online as Clavicular, Clav for short. A 20-year-old from Hoboken, New Jersey, currently living and trapping content out of a rented mansion in Fort Lauderdale, in Florida. The property has been converted to a 24/7, fully staffed live streaming studio for Clav's particular brand of content, which focuses on partying and also helping young men, particularly in Gen Alpha and early Gen Z, look sexy as fuck and ascend by engaging in looks maxing activities like facial surgery, limb lengthening, Botox, peptide use, and steroid injection, all with the goal of raising their SMV, sexual market value, in a way that will lead to more ascension and life success. Across mainstream platforms, he has over 1 million followers and over 170,000 recurring viewers.
The crazy thing though is the only thing that's actually made him more successful is this persona of obsessing about this stuff. It's not the actual like look maxing itself that's got him this. Like, sure, he's a good looking guy, but he's not like a movie star level looks. Even if you do have movie star level looks, those people have talent. Obviously the looks help get like leading role, but never just the looks themselves that get you where you need to be. You actually have to have some sort of substance. In this case, unfortunately, his substance is just damaging content for an entire generation.
On the live streaming platform Kick. I don't want to spoil it too much though. Let's get into the interview. All right, thanks so much for making the time, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, sorry.
How's it going?
You know,
How you
we're
doing, man?
getting started. How are you?
I'm good. So
Thanks.
for those who don't know, can you tell us your name and kind of what you do?
I am Clavicular. I do live streaming. I hop on a variety of podcasts to talk about.
See, live
my
streaming right
philosophy
now
and
in the
what
back?
looks are arguably one of the most important things in terms of your success in life.
And what do you mean by that?
Well, what I basically mean is every single trait of yours is going to be perceived differently according to your looks level, right? So if you're super caged in and shy, but you're good looking, that will be perceived a lot different rather than if you were, you know, an acne-ridden, balding jester and you stay inside all day. People will call you a recluse, they'll call you weird, whatever.
But acne, most people who have acne are pretty young. Like you grow out of it after a certain point. So it's just really a natural part of being young. So you shouldn't really focus too much on your looks when you're young anyways, because you're not who you are yet. You know, you haven't grown into your body fully. You haven't grown into your face fully. You haven't become who you want to be, have the interests that you want just yet. So obsessing over that so young, it's not going to result in the life that you want to have because you don't even know the life you want to have yet.
So even though the actions are the complete same, so that's what I'm talking about here.
And what's the exact equation for measuring like aesthetic value?
So there's a lot of different ratios that go into it to calculate someone's overall facial harmony score. So for example, that could be
based on
the
what?
Width of your eyes relative to the width of your cheekbones, would be your eye separation ratio, or your mid-face ratio, for example. And then you're going to take all these measurements and calculate them into a final percentage harmony score.
And who has the highest score right now living?
I believe it's Matt Bomer.
What in particular about Matt's
What?
face gives him
Yo. Are you thinking?
I believe it's Matt Bomer.
Okay, this is an attractive guy, but you think this is the most attractive guy living currently? Absolutely not. If he was walking down the street, I wouldn't even notice him. The fact that these so-called ratios are so scientific, based on what studies? Because if this is what you're getting as saying like peak male attractiveness, I think you need to do more studies.
about Matt's face gives him that high score?
It's not one particular thing because it's a calculation of a lot of different measurements.
Well, congrats on the big viewership and stuff like that.
Thank you.
It's kind of cool to see the mechanics.
And that guy's not the most successful man on the entire planet. So if looks are the most defining factor in somebody's success, why is the most looks maxed person not the most successful?
Of algorithmic takeover here.
I appreciate that.
I read less than a year ago you were a line cook.
That's right. Well, it was just one of my many roles at a restaurant I worked at.
What made you kind of want to jump into creating content?
I had already been kind of posting my looks maxing, routine and the protocols I was doing for a good amount of time on TikTok. Not really taking it too seriously.
Yo, the
I was
eyes, the
posting
dead
on my
eyes.
forums. So I was sort of like a well-known name in a really small, tight-knit community. And then I kind of took it a little bit more serious because people were asking me like, how do you do this? What was your experience like with this, peptide, whatever? And it started to get a lot of traction very early on. So I just continued with it and we're here now.
So going back to like the early days, you were born in 2005, right?
That's right.
How would you describe your like childhood? Was it fun?
Pretty normal, let's say.
Your social experience in school though, how was that?
What age range are we talking about?
I guess like right around 13, 14 is what I'm thinking.
Well, that would have been during the pandemic. So I was in online school.
Oh shit. How do you think that being in online school transformed your experience?
Ooh, I bet it transformed a lot.
Interacting with anyone.
Yeah.
Just like Ladaring.
But I mean, was that the time window that you sort of fell into the looks maxing community?
Around that time, actually, yeah.
What do you think?
Right at the tail end of the pandemic, actually.
What do you think initially appealed to you about it?
He's a product of COVID.
Well, it just seemed like when I first started lifting and then I got really into, pharmacology and steroid usage, I was like, this is like literally a video game cheat code.
What was the first kind of thing that you tried out? Was
Test.
But it's technically illegal in the US, right? But other countries have like more lax regulations.
No, it's prescription only.
Okay. And how did that affect your looks immediately? Like when you mix that with a bit of lifting?
I started to blow up quite quickly.
Is that his grandma? He had his grandma. Oh my God. I wonder what his grandma thinks of him.
The first thing that caught my eye was the bone smashing.
Okay.
Because I was like worried about you. Because I saw some people responding saying like, oh, in time, one day you're going to have like jaw issues. Do you think that's bullshit?
Yeah, because I don't even bone smash my jaw.
Oh, okay. My bad. How does it work?
Cheekbones. And it's just like, it's so silly that people want to talk about bone smash. I think it's just because it's
I love how the interviewer talks. He's like, "Oh, my bad. How's it work?" Like he's so chill with like every question, even though the person he's interviewing is so ridiculous. He's so chill with every single question and really genuinely tries to understand what's going on here.
I even bone smash my jaw.
Oh, okay. My bad. How does it work?
Cheekbones. And it's just like, it's so silly that people want to talk about bone smash. I think it's just because it's like you hear it and it's so crazy, but that's not even really like one of the main things that I would, advocate for or promote, or that really give people the most results. It's one of the methods that I talk about, but it's just what gets brought up the most frequently in interviews. If you ask me seriously, what's the best way to look max? I would tell you about leanness. I wouldn't tell you about bone smashing.
Gotcha. So staying low weight.
Yeah, staying extremely low body fat.
And what are some of the easiest ways to do that besides just creating a caloric deficit?
Well, being in a GLP-1 will help you maintain that deficit.
What do you think about Ozempic?
That is a GLP-1 agonist. That's what we're talking about. It works by just agonizing the one receptor, unlike Reta and tirzepatide, which hit multiple receptors. So this just slows kind of your gastric emptying and like almost nauseates you in a way so that you are unable to eat through that. But Reta is a little bit more like, meticulous, I guess.
You mentioned puberty in that developmental period. That's
Correct.
Also like right around the time that you got into all these communities.
Right.
How was that experience for you? Because it's a strange experience as like a young dude to go from being basically like a kid to a little baby man.
Well, you have the most control over your body while all those growth pathways are still open, right? So your growth plates remain unfused. So you can really do a lot with something like an aromatase inhibitor to prevent this process. Not prevent, slow it down as much as possible. Because estrogen is actually what causes you to stop growing. That's why boys are taller than girls.
I feel like a lot of this, he's not going based on good studies. I don't think there's a lot of studies that look into how taking exogenous hormones, taking testosterone while you're going through puberty, how that's going to affect you long term and how that's actually going to affect you even short term. I don't know if that really helped him get too much taller. Maybe it did. But the thing is, you'd never know. If you're going to mess with your hormones while going through puberty like that just for the sake of trying to get taller, that sounds like a very dangerous game to play.
So yeah, you really need to be extremely well researched when doing this stuff. That's why I'm like very careful about when I talk about these kind of things, because I want to be as comprehensive as possible.
Yeah.
To not leave any nuance on the table and try to clarify as much as possible.
Right, because you don't want to mince words, then someone gets hurt or something.
Because
like
if someone asks you, how do I get taller? And you just tell them, take HGH and an aromatase inhibitor. They go out and do that, and then they don't know about, the thing about carbohydrates, and they don't know that they could have these issues with flatlining their E with their mood and their libido. They could really cause themselves a good amount of harm. You have to explain every single thing. You have to make sure the person truly knows what they're doing before they decide to indulge on any of these pharmaceuticals. So I would say, in a funny way, like a lot more people will actually end up detrimenting themselves, because people these days are lazy. They don't want to research. They don't want to actually do things properly, take the steps that are actually necessary to have success.
Yeah.
So it's really just about that.
I think people are scared to make friends now too. Screen time's at an all-time high. People aren't really going out. Community's kind of in collapse. Less people have real friends.
I don't know the relevance of that.
What do you mean?
What's the relevance of that? It's like
What's kind of what you were just talking about?
not at all.
Wanting to ascend and finding your place in the world, SMV.
I was just
Engaging
talking
with
about
the world.
pharmacology.
Oh yeah, but I'm kind of getting into your goal is to help people ascend, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, what's the value there? I mean,
And engaging with people in real life.
yeah, I mean, there's really not that many people that are worth interacting with, I would say.
What do you mean?
Okay, wow, yeah, that's crazy. I didn't expect that. He's saying that interacting with people and just like having a social circle and a social life isn't gonna help you have a better life. That's kind of crazy. If you're being honest about ascending through life through this like scientific way, I mean, there's so much science based on how having people around you who care about you helps you become a better person yourself and helps you like have a more fulfilling life in general. If you're just like a recluse and only focused on yourself, you're not going to have like a very fulfilling life, especially in the long term. It's going to be very detrimental to your health.
Like, most people are extremely jester.
Like they're funny, or like they're just like
Just have completely misprioritized lives. I would say the average person that you meet who's like an enjoyer of
I think his Reddit forum himself is coming out right now.
sports, who drinks beer, for example, let's go have a beer at the pub and watch Sunday football. Like, that's the worst thing that you could do. Like, you should be on PubMed reading various different studies on how you could look smacks.
You don't think there's any value in like social interactions with people?
I wouldn't say people in general. I'd say that there's certain people that you could certainly learn from, but the average person that you encounter is literally like ladaring, watching like a baseball game.
So you think most of humanity is sort of like enslaved to these consumer habits that prevent them from ascending?
Yeah, I would say that's correct.
And you think that certain stuff like sports, drugs, alcohol, all that stuff is like ways to keep people contained and like kind of prevent them from becoming their true elevated selves?
I would say that it's certainly misused, right? So like, people will just drink alcohol for no reason at all. It seems like, let's go have a drink, when If you were actually smart, you would realize the purpose of alcohol is to lower your inhibitions to talk to girls. So that's the only time in which it makes sense to leverage such a toxic drug like ethanol.
Is the purpose of looks maxing
Bro,
to
literally
raise your
takes
aesthetic value to
And dating, obviously, a huge bias towards good-looking people. So objectively, you could hate me as a content creator, but realize like the value in what I'm talking about.
So the goal, when you say success, you mean like mostly financial and economic?
Well,
Good looks help you to a certain extent, but like the most successful people aren't the best looking people. The best way to be successful is to have value that other people can benefit from, and you being good looking, nobody's benefiting from that at all. So like if you have value, like to start a company or to impact culture in a certain way, that's totally beyond how you look. It's totally beyond that. You trying to focus on trying to look better so that you can be more successful is going to be a waste of time compared to actually providing actual value to society. It doesn't compare at all. I wouldn't say any of the top 1,000 most successful people in history are even close to the most good looking people. They're not bad looking, but they're mostly just average looking people who provide value outside of their looks.
The average Channel 5 viewer is a 27-year-old American man.
whereas I'm like more 18 to 24. That's good.
I think it's super interesting too, like the volume of content they seem to appreciate. They like content filmed over a long period of time, like 8 hours of content straight, and they want it live. Whereas our audience prefers a more polished, maybe 15-minute piece that's like a bunch of footage edited perfectly and have with like a narrative arc and a through line.
Yeah, I think there's all sorts of media that people enjoy, but I think the main part of streaming that people enjoy is just like not knowing what's gonna happen next. It sort of seems like in a lot of my streams, like things can take a turn for the worst, the best. Like you really don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect.
Because you're filming so much stuff, it's like a lot of things can happen. Is there any moments you regret from streaming?
Not really.
But the thing is, like, who has the time to watch like an 8-hour stream? Bet you there's people who are sitting down and watching an entire 8-hour stream. You just got to wonder, like, what are their lives looking like? And if they're following this guy for like life bettering advice, watching his streams for 8 hours isn't going to be a way to do that.
Because we're here now.
So even the losses you took on the way were all part of the hustle and the journey.
Yeah, because it's like you learn like maybe that's not a good idea to do that.
From a security standpoint, how do you stop stream snipers from ruining your
I'm not gonna talk about that.
Okay. Just because you don't want people to know what your protocol is?
Correct.
Word. Trying to think what else I should ask about. It's tough because I don't want to put you in any boxes, but I'm sure there's people that probably want to know about various controversies. If you don't want to talk about any, that's cool.
I mean, more so like to talk about like looks maxing in my interviews. And it's like kind of annoying because no interviewer has actually like come up with a question ever that's been more than what would be the number one piece of advice you would recommend people to looks max. I've genuinely never had a single person ask me specifics about how do these two things interact, or how does looks maxing differ from this age to this age? Is it still possible to looks max? Like there's no effort really behind the questions that you guys prepare, seemingly.
I think because most people don't actually care about looks maxing. They're more fascinated with like the life of a looks maxer in general and like how warped their reality is compared to like the average person. I think most people are focused and interested in those types of questions that address like the controversy about it, just the strange aspects about it, rather than actually figuring out how to looks max themselves. And I bet most of his viewers are probably the same way in general. Like they're not doing all those methods. They're not taking testosterone. Like most people are just watching it for the entertainment value.
Seems to be a lot of like gotcha mode, like clip farm shit. And
Well, I'm not
like,
doing that.
Yeah, you are a little bit to a degree.
I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
when you see the full presentation, it's not really going to be edited or clipped into my
Well,
face.
just because it's not the worst interview I've had. I mean, like, there was not even a single genuine attempt at like a specific LooksMax question.
Well, I'm not in the looks maxing community. I'm trying to learn about it. Not everyone talking to you is going to be a niche person who knows about all the methods.
Yeah, I know you're not in the LooksMaxing community, but you didn't even ask a LooksMaxing question, like at all. You don't need to be in the LooksMaxing community to ask a LooksMaxing question.
I think we've been talking about looks maxing this whole time.
We've been talking about like the philosophy behind it, and it's.
You want me to ask you a scientific question about looks maxing?
I just think it's kind of funny how like that's really never been done with the amount of like media appearances.
Maybe people don't know you want to be asked that. Well, now they will.
Well, that's quite literally what your companies, your
What do you
press
mean, your companies? You think I work for like Time Warner or something?
your press companies, you work for Channel 5.
It's a YouTube channel called Channel 5. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'm the CEO of my own company. I don't have any agenda to play here.
Holy semantics, dude. Like, what
It's a
are we
pretty big difference between working for an affiliate news station like Channel 5, the TV company.
Well, the fact of the matter is, gone through every single question of yours besides the one about my security, which is a little bit weird. But yeah, not a single attempt at anything in regards to LooksMax.
Thank you for the
What's
follow.
a question I should ask?
Well, that's up to you. It's
Well,
like,
you're
what
telling
am I
me-
going to tell you how to do your job?
You're telling me
I mean,
you want me to ask you about specific scientific questions about different looks maxing methods.
Well, I mean, just
And you're not happy with the question about the peptides or the bone smashing or anything like
Yeah,
that.
he's been
I mean,
asking
like,
questions
can you
this
not
whole
identify,
time
like,
about
anything that you have a curiosity about. Like maybe you wake up with dark circles in your eyes one morning, and like even something like that. I mean, just like even if you don't give a
Most
shit,
people
I mean,
aren't
like, it would
concerned
be-
about that.
Like, at least you put a little bit of effort into.
I think I've done a pretty good interview.
From what like context? Because if it's from the context of what you guys reached out was your intention, then I would say that you've done a pretty shitty job.
All right. Well, I think people probably want to learn about you, and that was what I was trying to give you the opportunity to do.
Well, I know. I think that's totally fair, and that's I applaud you for that. But not one question about looks maxing.
There's been so many questions about looks maxing. I probably asked you about looks maxing like 40 times. I just don't know the specific science. I'm not in the community.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, if you were to ask about like something in regards to hair loss, like, there's really nothing.
Yeah, sure. Hair loss.
You see what I
You're
mean?
telling me what to, you're trying to
I'm
get me
telling
to
you what to ask. So when you wake up every single morning and you take a look in the mirror, you're 100% satisfied with every single thing. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, more or less.
He's so heated right now. Oh my God. He can't believe it. He's like, wait, you're comfortable in your own skin? I don't believe that. You must be lying. That's crazy. That he can't even conceive about just being comfortable in your own skin and who you are.
I guess that's just, if you want to be completely disingenuous, that's fine with me. I guess there's just no point to continue.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right.
He looks like he's walking up as a draft pick. He looks like he just got
Thanks, guys.
chosen.
No
He
worries.
just puts the hat on.
Yeah, no, everything's fine. We're all good. Yeah.
Though a bit disappointed that things panned out the way they did.
All right. Well, that was a tumultuous interview. We didn't watch the whole thing, but we skipped to the good parts, I think. Yeah. In conclusion, this next generation better not follow this man and look at him as a role model. Otherwise, we're doomed. Hopefully, society doesn't become like its extremes. I will see you guys on the next video. Have a good one.